What is up, guys? Welcome to my 100th ranking video. I cannot believe I'm actually saying that. I've done 100 ranking videos, and so since this is number 100, I wanted to make it a little special to me anyway, because I'm such a big fan of nostalgia and VHS and all that. You can see my VHS background behind me. But this video, I'm going to be talking about my top 10 favorite horror VHS videos. So anyway, guys, thank you all for watching my ranking videos. I get so much great feedback from you guys, constructive criticism even sometimes, and I love all that stuff. So anyway, I wouldn't be here without you guys. I really appreciate it. So enjoy the video.
What's up, guys? You're probably wondering why I'm holding this Commando VHS, because it's not on this countdown. But anyway, we're going to count down my top 10 favorite VHS horror movies. Let's go. What is up, guys? Welcome to another Drumdums ranking. This is going to be a fun one, and this is one that I get a lot of requests for because people ask me, what are your favorite VHS tapes? Because I have quite the collection now. I probably have at least like 150 of them, something like that. Maybe more, maybe less, I don't know. But I carefully went through my collection, so these will be all movies that I own, and I picked out 10 of my favorite horror films. Most of my collection's horror anyway. They're not my favorite films, although these are amazing films. These are my favorite VHS horror films, ones that I usually reach for more than others, okay? I hope that makes sense, all right? So this isn't like a top 10 favorite movies countdown that I own on VHS. No, it's just these are movies that I think are perfect to watch on VHS. I'm also going to give you 2 honorable mentions. So anyway, let's do this. First honorable mention is going to be the Hitcher. I actually bought this on eBay for like $7.99 and it was brand new, shrink wrapped and everything. But The Hitcher is a movie that I really just loved in the 80s, mid-80s, Rutger Hauer. And it's just one of those like road horror movies, and I love road horror movies on VHS. There's just something really cool about them. And I'm gonna try not to be like redundant in this list, because a lot of the reasoning behind why I like these movies so much, it can be kind of similar. So I'll try to give you a little bit of variety in my reasoning here. But yeah, I just like that this is just 2 characters for the most part, constantly at each other's throats throughout the whole movie. And it just has that, you know, that feel, that mid-80s feel to it, you know. All the way down to even like the way the action is filmed. And Rutger Hauer, probably the most underrated villain ever in John Ryder. Okay, next honorable mention is going to be Splatter University. The first time I saw this movie was when I just bought the VHS. I bought it like 3 years ago, something like that. I was at a Goodwill. I saw this and I was just like, wow, I want this. I've never even heard of this movie, but this, I mean, this has got to be gold, right? Like, you don't see that every day at a Goodwill. Splatter University. So, and it's got the nice clamshell, which I love the clamshell. And it's just a fun little, very, very low budget slasher movie. And I think when you have, you know, the lower the budget, the more fun it is to watch it on VHS. And I think one thing that VHS does do is it takes any like effects and makes them seem more real because of the grainy look of the movie. But I mean, any of those 80s slasher movies are always really fun on VHS. Okay, top 10, here we go. These are the 10 movies that I find myself reaching for the most. Terminator. And Terminator is one that I probably watched the most on VHS. And even back in the day when it was only available on VHS, I used to watch this movie all the time. And another thing to be said about VHS movies is the cover. I always tend to prefer the cover of VHS over DVD and Blu-ray. And the Terminator is a great example of that. It's just such a badass looking cover, and it wastes no space, you know, because VHS, it's thinner. It's not as wide as like DVD and Blu-ray. So it just, you know, it's real estate utilization, right? It's the most bang for your buck given the real estate. But most of my memories of the Terminator go back to watching it on VHS, you know, not the other formats. And I own the other formats, but I find myself constantly throwing this one in on VHS. I just enjoy it that way. Number 9, Sleepaway Camp, and I'm sure you could understand the reasoning behind this because out of all the like low budget slashers, I think this one embodies what makes those low budget slashers great the most, and it's got the craziest twist ending ever. But this is another one of those movies that I just really enjoy watching on VHS. Also, this is autographed by Felissa Rose, Catherine Kami, and Karen Fields. All three of them, when I met them at Spooky Empire, you can actually find that video. I'll put a card here for it. And yeah, it was just so cool. I was very nervous, but all three of them were the sweetest people you could ever meet, and they signed this for me. And this is probably my like crown jewel of my collection, just because of the signatures on this, you know. Number 8 is The Crow. This is one of those memories that I have of just like waiting at the video store for it to open so I could get this and rent it on VHS. You know, this is back when the video stores, they only offered VHS. This was 95 or late 94 when this came out on VHS. And so every time I see this, it makes me think of that, just waiting at the video store, because I wanted to see this movie again so bad after seeing it in the theater. And you know, walking in the video store and seeing just the rows of VHS movies, and just seeing, like, you know, probably 20 of these just sitting on the rack, and it's just beautiful. It's just beautiful. And The Crow's a good movie to watch on VHS too, because of the black and white texture to the movie. It's mostly black and white all the way through. And I think VHS really suits that. And I think this is a movie that kind of benefits from the 4:3 frame rate. Number 7 is The Shining. And what's interesting about The Shining is, I think the first time I saw it, it might have been on TV, or it might have been on DVD. I had never seen it on VHS until, like, you know, a few years ago. But when I threw this movie in and watched it on VHS, it kind of added to the experience, because The Shining is about confinement, right? And when you watch a movie on VHS, the presentation feels a little bit more confined, you know? And so it suited the story, actually, and made it even creepier. Also, my TV Jolene there has a really good, like, sound system built in. It's really bassy, and the score in this really benefits from that. It sounds a little bit more weighty and just more claustrophobic. Number 6, The Fog. I did a D-Watch on this VHS. This was the first VHS that I did a D-Watch on, actually, was The Fog. And The Fog is another one of those movies where I like the score when I watch it on VHS, just because it's so simple. You know, it's got such a simple sounding little score. And that's kind of like in Carpenter's playbook, to have like simplicity in his scores, because it just makes the movie that much more terrifying. For some reason, when I watch The Fog on VHS, I think it's creepier to me than if I watch it on like Blu-ray or even like 4K. Is it even out on 4K yet? And by the way, guys, this isn't me saying that I prefer VHS over, you know, Blu-ray and 4K. Not at all, okay? I appreciate all formats, but sometimes I like throwing in a nice VHS movie. And you're noticing the theme here is those 80s flicks. I really enjoy watching them on VHS, and The Fog fits into that mold perfectly. Okay, big guns here. Number 5 is Friday the 13th. I was gonna go with the final chapter, which is behind that Jason mask up there, but I think I even prefer watching the first one on VHS even more. This happens to be a UK edition, I believe. One of my subscribers sent it to me, and I freaking love this cover. Just beautiful. But really, you could watch any of the first, I'd say, 5 Friday movies, and I think they benefit from watching them on VHS. They just have that like grainy, almost grindhouse feel to them, even though they're not like necessarily grindhouse movies. But they just have that like dirty slasher feel to them. And I think dirty slashers, they suit VHS even better than any other format. And also, I love the artwork in the back too, you know? How it looks kind of faded. You know, you don't get that on the newer releases. Number 4, this is probably the newest movie in this countdown, but Scream. And I remember when Scream first came out on VHS, they had, I think, 4 or 5 custom character-specific covers. And I have the one with Neve Campbell, which that one's signed by Matthew Lillard. And of course I have the official poster cover, which I prefer this one actually. But it is cool to have the variant covers, because not every movie has variant covers, but I like what Scream did, coming out with all these different variant covers. And when I did a D-Watch for Scream recently, half of it was I was watching it on Jolene. And Scream happens to be really fun to watch on VHS, and you wouldn't expect that. You would think that this movie's a little bit too new looking and a little bit too slick looking to enjoy on VHS. But I think VHS kind of offers a different feel to the movie than if you watch it on other formats. And I do like those 90s movie poster covers, and Scream was kind of the start of all that, and I think they work really well on VHS.
Also, real quick, huge thank you to Gabriel Lewis. I just opened up this package he sent me. He sent me this Zenith VCR, and the picture quality, everything is just perfect on it. So thank you so much, Gabriel. This is amazing, man. Look at that. Just beautiful. And mine was about to give out on me, so your timing could not have been better, good sir. And that's the Scream widescreen VHS edition. I think that's the only widescreen edition VHS I have in my collection. So, wow, pretty cool.
Number 3, and really this top 3, you could pretty much swap them out all you want, but Nightmare on Elm Street. This is one of my first VHS memories. I remember watching this one like right after it came out, I believe in like 85. And 85 was kind of the start of the VHS boom and rentals. As far as I remember, that's when I remember constantly renting VHS movies. 1985. Elm Street came out in 84, but I believe it came out in VHS like the next year. It's just fun to watch Freddy Krueger do his thing, you know, on a smaller scale like VHS. And really, I think it just all comes down to nostalgia for me with this particular movie, because like I said, it was one of my first. But it's one that I do find myself constantly throwing in on the VCR. Number 2, Night of the Living Dead. This is a movie that I just watched for the first time, I think like 2 years ago. Andrew Becker was really pestering me saying, I cannot believe you haven't seen this. And he was right. And after watching it though, I realized I need to get this on VHS. This movie would be perfect to watch on VHS just because it's black and white. It feels very confined. And it's just one of those movies, to me, it's scarier on VHS. There's something about it that really gets under your skin. It's really creepy. It feels very low budget, and it feels like it could turn the corner and really just do something out of left field that you wouldn't expect. And to me, it is the greatest zombie film ever made. You know, it's very scary, actually. And it happens to be the first of its kind. So, yeah, Night of the Living Dead. And number 1, and I would say Halloween is probably the movie that most people have on VHS. If you have 5 VHS movies in your collection, I almost guarantee you that one of them is Halloween, especially if you're a horror fan, you know? Horror fans love to watch this movie on VHS. It's one of those movies that was really widely mass-produced when VHS was having its heyday back in the mid-80s. And it's one of the movies that I saw on the shelves the most. Everybody remembers the Blockbuster edition, which I actually have the Blockbuster edition. It's right back here. This is the movie that I have more copies of on VHS than any other movie. I have, I think, 3 or 4 editions of Halloween on VHS. And I think they're all different. And I love the Blockbuster one, but I also love the theatrical poster one. Yeah, I mean, I don't need to tell you why Halloween's great on VHS. It just is. And it's the movie that I watched for years and years and years only on VHS. And I remember when the DVD edition from 2000 came out. And that was the first time I saw Halloween in like anamorphic. I had never seen it in 2.3.5 until that edition. So for years I saw it in 4.3. But I enjoyed it very much in 4.3, and I still enjoy it quite a bit. It's a fun movie to watch on VHS, actually. And it's another example of a movie that I think is scarier on VHS. So anyway, guys, that's it. If you want to see a lot of VHS collections on like Instagram, I would definitely check out like Gabby's Instagram page. She's always like promoting her VHS goodies that she has. I see quite a few different Instagram accounts that have VHS in there. I think Christian Hannah Horror has a VHS collection, but yeah, I love VHS. It's not just like a gimmick for me. I really enjoy watching these movies. I literally just watched Christine, which I'm going to be doing a review, a VHS review on Christine, because if this is the first time you're watching my channel, I have a series called VHS Reviews where I'll select a movie on VHS and I'll review it, and you'll see footage from Jolene, which is my TV, throughout the review. And Christine should have been on this list. I apologize. I just remembered that. But anyway, be sure to come over to Killer Flicks, where we talk horror all day and every day. And on Fridays, we do Free For All Fridays. Follow me at Drumdums on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a good day, and Drumdum out.